Hello Pisces, Elsie here to do a reading for you. It is a weekly reading. How you doing, friends? Happy weekend. Welcome to the Friday. And thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. We are going to look at a 9-card draw, my friend. And we're going to find out what's going on for you, Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. So please remember, this is not just a Pisces Sun reading. This is for all those other signs as well. And so if this doesn't make sense to you, please leave it for someone else. At the end of this video, I'm going to tell you about the private reads, how to find them, and also about the extended if you're interested in that. Let's find out what's going on for you, the birthday babies. Happy birthday, Pisces. Tell me when your birthday is. I'd love to say happy birthday. Thanks so much. Let's find out what's going on, friends. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. We're going to do a 9-card draw. Tell me about Pisces. We've got the 3 of Pentacles. Who else had that? Taurus had that. Pisces. The 3 of Pentacles was the first card out. Tell me why the 3 of Pentacles is here. We've got the Magician. Oh, that's interesting because it ended up over here in the Taurus read. You might want to go back there if you have one of those placements or you're watching on someone who has that energy. So I feel like you're in a place right now, Pisces, where you're thinking about partnerships. But I think that the way you're thinking about partnerships is in terms of organization. The 3 of Pentacles is you organizing how you show up for people or who you even want to show up for. You know, I feel like the Magician energy is telling me that you are the master of your own domain. I feel like you are a person who can create your own reality. You're very creative. You're someone who has a lot of options. All the aces are up your sleeve. You realize that you have the skills and the resources to make life anything that you want to make out of it. But I feel like you're fighting yourself or arguing with yourself or thinking, but if I move forward, then I might have to leave behind my partnerships. Or a partnership. This could be a job as well. We do have 2 people that are looking at someone else doing work. So maybe you feel like this group of people or this workplace, watches you do all the work and maybe they get all the benefit. We could be talking about a community or partnerships that you have created with people who you trusted because that's cooperation, collaboration. And it feels like you're about to create your own reality. But I feel like it's going to require that you move forward or move ahead or move away from the 3 Pentacles. Tell me more about this for Pisces. We have the Queen of Cups. I feel like you really love this group of people, or you really love the job. You love what you do. I feel like you have definite depth of love or heart space, but it feels like something here has to come to an end in order for you to create the reality that you want for yourself. So just as a aside, it's like I knew what I wanted to do with my life, but I knew that I was going to have to do 2 things. I was going to have to close a chapter on my job, my corporate job of 11 years, and I was going to have to probably leave my marriage in order to get done what I was going to get done. And it really took me a long, long time. Pisces, maybe it's taking you a while to make this decision. Yes, it does feel like you will be liberating yourself from something and closing the door. It feels like, I'm going to say that you've already accomplished what you need to accomplish in this chapter of your life. And I feel like you are somebody who now believes that you are in control of your own reality or your own destiny, or I can do whatever I want. I feel like you've grown into the Queen of Swords energy. And the Queen of Swords is somebody who is all about the liberation of self. This is somebody who possibly has left a marriage. This is the divorcee. Sometimes we call her that, right? You could be somebody who is a man or a woman, feminine or masculine energy here, right? But it feels like somebody here has decided there must be decisive boundaries. I must put the boundaries in place. I feel like it's time for you to move on from something. And we'll try and figure out maybe with what the 3 of Pentacles is about. It does feel like you're doing it in terms of liberation. You're saying what you need to say and you're drawing some boundaries. And I feel like you're just going to give somebody the honest truth. And you're not going to sugarcoat it because the Five of Swords is next to it. So I feel like it's like somebody you might have a fundamental difference with, or somebody that you no longer believe what they believe. Maybe your thoughts have changed over time on a certain thing. Tell me about what's going on here under the Queen of Cups is we've got the Four of Pentacles. Yes, it does feel like this is a rejection of something. This has become stagnant for you. And I think that it's time for you to move on. But this is something that I feel you feel very deeply about. Maybe it's a workplace, maybe it's a group of people or a community. You could be simply moving forward or moving out of the community into another. And this could be a long distance move. We have the Eight of Cups. So this is the discernment to be able to detach and release and let go. Because I feel, Pisces, that you were probably settling for something. This is Piscean energy, that you were settling for something. And it might be because you didn't want to let go of this group, this workplace, this partnership. It feels like you didn't want to. It might be a romantic partnership for some of you. You didn't want to let go of it. But I feel like something here has really run its course. There is nothing else to do after the world except to go back to the Fool and begin again. So I feel like you're being honest with yourself. But I also feel like it's come to a place where we just don't agree on anything anymore. We don't have the same worldviews. We don't agree on whatever the topic of origin is. We just don't agree anymore. And I can't settle for that because it's becoming old and boring. And I reject some of your ideas. I reject some of the ways that you're thinking. And although I love you, I have, depths of compassion and kindness for you, I don't think I can be here anymore. The World card tells me this is the heart of the matter. Ultimately, there's no going back from the World card. You close the door and you're done. The chapter's behind you. And we have the Six of Pentacles. So I feel like you probably will keep in touch with some people who give you reciprocal energy, but I feel like there are people in your life who are taking more than they're giving. And I think those are the people that you're probably going to cut out, or the person, or the workplace. I feel like you're going out on your own. You're becoming single, or you are going out on your own, maybe to create a business. I feel like you learned a lot here with the networking or collaboration or cooperation with this group here. But I feel like it feels like you're no longer settling for not getting reciprocal energy here with the Six of Pentacles. We're going to look at what's under the surface here. What is it that you don't see coming up in the future here, Pisces? We have the Devil energy. Yeah, I feel like what you don't see is that if you would have stayed here, it would have become toxic. You would have started to feel anxious and worried. And I feel like that's how you began to feel until it was time to release or let go. The Devil energy being here tells me you were bound, or there was chains that you felt like you couldn't break, and you hated going to the workplace, or you didn't like that you knew that you didn't know what version of this person you were waking up to, or what version of this person you were going to get. It feels like all we start to do is we're opposing views, fundamental differences, right? And I've got to relieve myself of this. I've got to have some sort of balance in my life. Tell me about the Magician, because I feel like you've changed your mind on some points of view. I feel like you no longer fit into some sort of partnership, group, network, community. And it's time with the Magician energy that you take your ability to create your own reality, and you have to move forward here. Yeah, it is a decision. It feels like a 3D decision. What I mean by that is it might be a move. We have Five Pentacles. You're going to be essentially external, like leaving people on the outside looking in. So they're going to be external to your life. They're going to have to watch you from a distance, or they're going to have to watch you create whatever you're about to create from a distance. This could be a romantic type relationship that we're talking about that you've decided no longer is for you. The Knight of Cups is also Piscean energy. I feel like if this is a romantic connection we're talking about, I feel like you fell in love with potential, Pisces. You know, when you fall in love with potential, you see someone for who they could be rather than who they really are. And I feel like you tried to soften them. I feel like you tried to give them compassion. I feel like you tried to be a partner. You know, it could be a workplace or a group of people. Maybe it's a soul tribe. This Queen of Cups and the Three of Pentacles can tell me it's a soul tribe, but I feel like you had to get out of your feelings and you had to start being practical about what am I doing with my life. I feel like you started to feel this energy of, I really have to make a decision about what goes on from here. I need to make practical decisions about my life, practical decisions about money, about property, about things that are going to be unfolding in my life as I move forward here and start to create a new foundation with new people. Tell me about the Queen of Cups. We've got the Hanged Man, we've got the Five of Wands, and we've got the Ace of Swords. So I feel like you have been in a pause. You've been in this perspective. I feel like you're worried that people are going to see you as the Queen of Swords and not the Queen of Cups. But these two queens, they back each other up pretty well. This is the ability to liberate yourself or say what you've got to say in a very honest and truthful way. And let's be honest, we live in a world where truth is not the thing that anybody wants to talk about. And so we've got the Queen of Swords, but being backed up by the Queen of Cups is like, I'm going to say this in the kind and most respectful way that I can, with the most love and kindness and compassion that I can, but I still have to say it. I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but I still have to say it. What are you about to say here? Tell me about the Queen of Swords. For Pisces, you're about to liberate yourself from a situation. So it's time that you created your own balance. So there's something here that you're asking for clarity on, because I feel like there is some sort of illusionary energy or something that you don't quite understand. I feel like what you're doing here with the Eight of Cups is you no longer want to settle for it, but you're trying to detach from the emotional side of it here. It feels like something here that is emotionally overwhelming, and that's why I think you're taking care of it as the Queen of Swords. It does feel like it could be the Four of Wands. It could be a relationship. Maybe you're living together. Maybe you have some sort of companion living with you. We do have the Ace of Wands. So I feel like, the Five Wands are here. The Five Wands are here. It makes me feel like there's something here that's really been weighing heavily on you emotionally. So I feel like the Queen of Swords energy here tells me that you're about to liberate yourself from a situation where you've been settling. You've been settling for less than is yours because you've realized that you're in the Eight of Cups when you could, I looked up, it was 12:12 on the timer, when you could definitely be in this energy of maybe it's time for me to just release what I have been hoping for, right? I was just saying that the Knight of Cups can be a little bit of sort of meandering energy, taking your time, passive Knight, sort of looking at things with potential instead of what they really are. But I think if you were looking at a relationship or a job or something like that, the potential of it is what you were falling in love with. But I think that the King of Pentacles shows up and says, look, you got to look at the 3D here. What is actually going on? Let's look at something, get all the details, and let's look at it practically. What's really going on here? And so I feel like it is this Eight of Cups that you have a realization through this King of Pentacles energy, right? This is no more clouded vision. This is being very practical about what's coming up next. And it looks like this Eight of Cups here is, I'm not really going to settle for this anymore. I've got to detach. Tell me about the Eight of Cups. We've got the Emperor in the reverse. Oh boy. The Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. And we've got the Three of Swords in the reverse. I feel like when you tell somebody that you're about to leave or about to go, please accept that they're going to lose it everywhere. It feels like this is somebody losing their crap everywhere. Someone who is out of control. Someone who might even threaten you financially. Somebody who's saying, good, I'm not giving you any more money, so I don't know where you think you're going. I feel like somebody here could have been building their finances in the background. The Three of Swords in the reverse is somebody is hiding their feelings about being crushed or being heartbroken by turning into the Emperor in reverse. Somebody who tries to control you, somebody who tries to conquer you, somebody who starts threatening you with money or your job or something like that. I feel like you are showing up as the Queen of Swords because you have to be able to put boundaries between you and someone else who is about to lose their crap everywhere, because I feel like you realized that you were stuck in a comfort zone and that it was getting very toxic and you hated talking to this person, dealing with this person, maybe being in the relationship or being in this Three of Pentacles, which could be work. So it feels like the Seven of Wands tells me you are putting up boundaries. The Queen of Swords does carry the sword with the boundaries, right? So it tells me here that you are putting up boundaries and you're standing up for yourself finally. The Three of Wands is here. Look, again, we see the 10, right? So we have 5 and 5 wands, and then we have 10 wands here. So it's telling me here that the Hanged Man tells me that you took your time and tried to get perspective on the situation. You took your time, you went into a pause, and you realized there's going to be, I do have to sacrifice the situation as it is. It's a moment of clarity that you got, right? It's saying to yourself, look, I am kind. I'm not doing this because I'm mean. I am kind. The Five of Wands is here. You held yourself back and you battled yourself emotionally. I really feel like it took a lot for you, or will take a lot for you, to stand up as the Queen of Swords and say, I can't do this with you anymore. So this could be a relationship. This could be a marriage. This could be the workplace. Take it as it resonates for you, whatever your lens is. This could be a father, an overbearing father that said, you need to run the family business. And you're like, no, I don't want to do that anymore. That's not what I want to do. I'm creative. I'm a person who wants to create my own business. I want to create whatever I want to create, right? Because the Magician is here. So we're going to go into the extended. Look, if you'd like to come into the extended and watch me clarify the rest of this, we'll find out what door is closing and why, and we'll find out what this partnership is. What is your relationship to the Emperor in reverse? Because I feel like you're at the king status here, where you're like, look, I'm in control of my own kingdom. I don't really need you anymore. I'm not abiding by your rules. So we're going to go into the extended. Please take a look at the top of the comments there. You will see that there is a pinned comment. If you click on the read more link, you will see that there is a couple of links there. You can go to the extended through the membership link. That's where all these extendeds go if you're interested in seeing how this works out. And if you are interested in a private read, please know my private reads begin at $25 and go up from there. And if you're interested in signing up for a pre-recorded reading, or if you'd like to catch me online, we can have a face-to-face or conversation over the phone. Please look at my schedule as is, and please pre-book the live readings. And I'm going to go for now, but I'll be back because I'm always back. See you in the extended if you end up there. Thanks, Pisces. Take care. Happy birthday. Bye-bye.